Our family is no stranger to adventure. We love the outdoors, laughing and playing as a family. We left our home in Florida for a new life in North Carolina, overgrown 20 acres, learning new tools, new challenges, finding new ways to break things, having to start over, trial and error, and creative ways to stay cool in the hot summer months. Raising our new kids, starting a flock for meat and for eggs, growing our food one row at a time. This is our story as we start a new chapter in our lives.
Well, here we are. This is what we're calling the island because it's basically just one big thing of brush right in the middle of where the boys' pasture is going to be. And if you see what's in this little, we called it the Hobbit house because it looked like it was covered with vines. Now the vines are starting to get pulled away and we can see that it is, or was, a metal structure of some kind. And it is no more. So what we're hoping to do is pull away the last remaining bits of that little bit of vines there. All this in the foreground, you see all that in the ground? All that was vines. That's how far out it went. So we've cleared all this all the way around. You see everything that has debris. That's how big this island was. We're going to leave these two big trees. They're beautiful. Still got a lot of vines on them, but they're pretty solid. They've been here a while, so we're going to leave them be. It'll give us some shade. And so once this last bit of vines in the middle here is cleared, which I'm hoping the sun's coming out. We were thinking of thunderstorms all afternoon, but Lord willing, they have passed us by for now. So as soon as Hort is able to clear away this last little bit of viney stuff, that should leave us with just chainsaw material. I don't know how close we can get to that. I don't know if you can see it, but that's all metal in there. It's just one big structure that's semi-fallen. So we're not going to be able to get too close to that with this machine. The other thing that we wanted to do was over this way. If I pan this way, you'll see that through there, you may or may not be able to pick up on it, but there is a fence post. See it right there? That is part of a fenced-in area I talked about before. There used to be an old house back there. We found an old chimney. We found a seahorse bird bath and some other items. Also another small structure that looked almost like, how could I describe it? Like an A-frame of steel. Could have been either a trailer at some point or actual structure. We're calling that the secret garden because it is a fenced-in garden area that's all weeds now. We've cleared this way and we've pretty much cleared this way. I know it still looks kind of viney, but we've run up to where we're coming up on some berms of dirt. I don't know if you can see them real well in the picture, but basically they're like walls of dirt. So we're going to need to bulldoze those to get to any further back. But we've cleared pretty much all the way to the corner, so this should give us plenty of access to put the boys' stuff over here. If I walk over this way, sorry for the bumpiness, here's what you can see what we've encountered. You see how, I don't know, you can make it out, but that's like a metal, see, like a metal A-frame of something. Could have been a trailer, could have been something of a structure. Again, a lot of barrels we found over here, buckets. Here's another barrel here. So there's going to be a lot for us to have to pick up with the Bobcat. I don't know, I'm still toying with the idea of just buying a John Deere or, you know, a Kubota with the bucket and the front loader on it, or leasing it as opposed to keep renting equipment. Nice thing is when you rent it though, if it breaks, you take it back. We haven't broke it yet, but basically that's how far we want to go back. I don't see if you can see where that tree line is. You see like that tree right there? That is how far back we want to take this. Kind of hard to see because of the fact that all the trees that we've ripped out are already, and vines are there in the way, but just past that green stuff you see there on the ground, right about where that tree right there is standing. That's how far the pastures are going to go. So pretty significant if you think about it. If we can clear this island, let me make it bigger so you can see where we are. Okay, if we can clear this island, you see how far back he is? All right, so this little island here, we're going to clear that mess of junk out. Jonathan's already made a huge clearing right here in between the trees and what's left of that structure. We're going to leave these trees. You see the shed in the background. So the shed won't be in the boys' pasture, but the trees will. And as I pan forward, here we go toward the house. You see how there's a clearing right in front of me. And then we have the clearing over there, which that's going to be the girl pasture that we've already marked out with stakes. Should be able to get 4 paddocks in that. Also, we found the septic, thankfully to great work at these folks over at the water department. They were able to find the septic on a very, very old piece of paper. And it's actually right there next to the house is where our septic is. So we're going to have to adjust the fencing just a little bit. Not much. But that's it in a nutshell of where we are right now. And we will keep you guys posted when we've finished clearing the rest of this and start putting in some pastures. Oh, the joys of buying an abandoned property. This is only a sampling of all the steel that we have pulled out of this property that people have just dumped, buried. You know what it is to try to create pastures with this much crap in the ground? So I'm hoping, since this is all steel, really, this is like 99% steel, that I'm going to get a nice little return when I send this over to the recycling scrapyard. With no microwave.
All right, hot dog.
And now you need a hot dog. All right, well, we've done a lot of work at the homestead here. My husband's working today, so I decided to come over here and do a little on my own. And it's amazing what a little woman ingenuity, since obviously I don't have the strength that he does. So let me show you a couple of things that I was able to do in the 2 hours that I've been here. First of all, yesterday he had taken down the whole frame around this fireplace. We thought it was a electric fireplace, that's what the realtor said. But apparently it's not. It does have a flume. It's a relatively new flume. I don't know how clean it is, but it does go out to the roof, and the stack looks relatively new. I mean, look at it. It doesn't even have any oxidation or nothing on it. Fireplace, obviously, let me back up a little bit, is a little more worn, but the fan works. The neat thing or scary thing is that they had actually, that's the fan, the switch to turn on the fan. They didn't hardwire it. They plugged it in. Can you see this? That's the plug right there. And they had actually left an outlet in the wall behind the fireplace. So this was sheetrocked in, and it was plugged in. So you want to talk about fire hazard. Oh my God, when we found that. So needless to say, we're going to make sure that that's properly electrically wired. The other thing is that you'll notice is down here, the mantle, these guys were trying to sledgehammer this thing, and it was a solid thing of brick and cement. So, of course, being that I don't have the upper body strength that men do, I decided to take the more intelligent approach and chip away at the problem. So I took out 1 brick, 2 bricks, 3 bricks, and before you know it, big pieces were starting to come out. As soon as I released the tension from the couple of the key center bricks, the rest of it just started coming apart. And this one, I was able to crowbar it away from the frame, so I actually might reuse that. I don't know, we'll have to see if I can dust it up and clean it a little bit. We might be able to use it again where we're going to remove this fireplace. We're not going to take, it's taking up too much room in the corner, but of course it's got to have a 1/2 inch clearance all the way around from anything flammable. So we're probably going to leave it on that wall just because that's where the roof is, and we're not going to move the flume of the roof. That's more expensive than it needs to be. So it's going to stay in this general area. It's just not going to be catty-cornered like that, taking up so much space. It's probably going to stick out into the room a little bit, and then we'll put stuff around it to make sure it's fireproof. The other thing, as we come into the second part of the room, is you remember this lovely chimney issue from one of my other episodes? Yeah. Well, apparently the chimney goes all the way to the ceiling. I mean, to the roof line. So it literally, and I'll show you some pictures, it literally is half a chimney hanging like a bad Jenga game. Initially, we were going to just knock these ones out at the bottom and let gravity do the rest. And then we realized that the sheer size of that chimney block above it, there's probably another 2/3 of brick above what you're seeing right here. The weight of that, if that came straight down, would probably go through the floorboard. And then now we're creating all kinds of problems with our floor joists. So we weren't going to tempt fate that these 120-year-old floor joists are going to sustain the weight of that tonnage of bricks coming down. So we're going to systematically kind of chip away at the mortar and hopefully take that down in sections from the attic down. It's pretty good sizable attic space. I'm not going to get up there. I'll just show you guys pictures that I took, which is great. And the other thing that I realized yesterday was when we were looking at through the little attic space, you see that little hole up there? That's actually, I think, was an attic access because they have the panel with the same shiplap up there. The little square that goes in that spot is in the attic. So I imagine at some point that was an attic access. And then they had just painted the ceilings. You know, you can notice it's a different color. The shiplap's a different color. But what I realized very quickly was that they had actually sheetrocked and insulated on top of this beautiful shiplap. And I was like, why would you do that? There is plenty of attic space up there to insulate between the elements and this roof like a traditional house. There was no necessity to bring the roof down so significantly. And you can really see the difference here. The roof in the main room is literally 4 inches lower than the true roof. And I don't know why they did that. So odds are this roof will also go bye-bye, but that will probably be a project for another day. Today, I was managed to take down this, and look at this shiplap. I mean, it's nearly in perfect condition. I mean, honestly, it's not going to be airtight, waterproof, and like brand new sheetrock, but it's beautiful. And this is going to be used as a market. This is not a living quarters. So I think with some really good, blown in insulation up there, this house will be perfectly fine with its natural original shiplap. I mean, that's got to be from the 1920s. That's almost 100-year-old wood, and it still looks in pristine condition. So we're going to have to probably move, well, obviously we're going to have to move the electrical box where the fan is. I don't know if that's a dead light switch. Can you see that behind there? I'd have to see if that thing is wired to something, and just because we found that in our home where they had buried light switches like that in the ceiling. So that was actually insulated. So I certainly hope that doesn't have a live wire going to it and missing the light bulb. So either way, that one's going to go bye-bye, that little ceramic white thing that you see there. And we're going to bring the electrical box for the fan up and secure it to the studs so that it's right against the shiplap. And the same thing's going to go for this outdated, archaic smoke alarm that met its match when the drywall came down. Honestly, this could probably be in the Smithsonian. That smoke alarm is so old, I couldn't even imagine what year it's from. It'd be interesting to find out. So that's what I did today, folks. My husband's probably going to be surprised and petrified at the same time because I am notorious for getting hurt. And knock on wood, I have not walked out the door yet. So, and as I dropped, I don't know if you heard that, I dropped the tape measure that I had between my legs holding it. I dropped it, it almost hit my foot. So I almost jinxed myself there and created an injury. Luckily, it missed my foot. This is all the insulation, and I've just rolled it up in bats, and I'm going to recruit teenagers to come and help me take that out. Carpet's already been ripped up, and they've got this ugly looking press board down. I'm still hopeful that when we take this up, there's beautiful hardwood floors under there, because apparently whoever was living here in the past decided it was a good idea to cover beauty with crap. So maybe I'll get lucky. We're going to have to replace some of this anyways because it's settling in certain areas. So I'm hoping that when we take up a piece of this press board, we're going to find something beautiful underneath. That is not so beautiful. That is actually a pile of debris. And I can tell you about 1/3 of that is rat feces. Oh my God, if you could have seen what came out of that ceiling. Oh. We also found 3 snake skins, which is very possible. Oh, here, I'll show you one of them. Which is very possible that the amount of rat feces has a direct correlation with the 3 snake skins that we found. So that's one. And we found a little bigger one too. So I don't know if it's the same critter that just got bigger and shed twice, or if he invited friends to eat over at our house. I don't mind the snakes. As long as they stay up there and they eat mice, I'll be happy. We have not done anything more to the kitchen or the bathroom. My husband took the actually, let me walk over there. He took off the handles to the faucet. That we did do in the bathroom. And we're going to see how much of that bathtub we can salvage. My son had a great idea of possibly using the bottom if we can keep it relatively intact. We could actually use that as either a feed trowel or even for water. I don't know that we can cut it so it'll be safe though. The edges is what concerns me. So that's the next project. We will keep you posted and show you more videos as to whether or not that idea pans out. That was a pretty good idea. We love to reuse and recycle. So if that works out, fantastic. We have not taken out the toilet yet just because it is disgusting. And my husband wants to buy a whole new one. I don't know why they left it. Everybody's refusing to use it. So I don't know why we still have it there. The other thing too is these dryer outlets and the water line, we're going to move these because ultimately what I want to do is make this bathroom available to the general public if they come to visit the farm. So it needs to be wheelchair accessible. And it looks like, it's got a pretty good area there on this side of the toilet. And with the tub gone, I'm hoping that we have the clearance around it. The only thing I'm concerned about is maybe the sink being in front of the toilet. Sorry. So we may have to move that down a little bit just so that it's not in the way of somebody accessing the toilet with a wheelchair. So I'll have to look into that, research a little bit more as to what the dimensions for easy access, because we definitely want the farm to be accessible to everybody regardless of their abilities. So ramps and things like that are going to be part of the project. Weather has been kind of crappy. So we haven't had a chance to do too much outside. So that's why we're focusing on the market. Next week looks like it's going to be thunderstorms all week again. So unfortunately, we're stuck in here for a little while, but we are making a lot of great progress. I think progress or mess. I don't know how you want to look at it, but definitely love to keep the little video library going as you guys can come along with us as we start our new endeavor and build ourselves a little farmhouse market and hopefully have those pastures done sooner than later. That's going to be our storage room, office / everything over there. As soon as we can get that grass down. But like I said, we can't till, we can't rip up the bad grass to put new grass seed down until we have a day where we're not thunderstorms out there, because I don't want to have to rent equipment only to have it sit in mud. Well, guys, I will post some more pictures and let you guys know of other little things that have gone on. Tractor losing its wheel and, some other events that I just took pictures of and didn't video. But stay tuned. Bye.